All right, Schlockmeister fans, we're gonna watch a movie I've never seen before. 1976's Grizzly. Let's check it out.
Christopher George is Kelly. He's some sort of park ranger.
Concerned about is we got more backpackers pitching tents than raccoons.
Told me that you were coming.
I think this guy owns the place, and that's his daughter.
I did. I am. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah, well, keeping check on how your old man is doing is not going to help you meet your deadline.
Now we got the view from. Oh crap! If you're watching this, you know it's a grizzly bear, and this is the grizzly bear stalking, and this is the grizzly bear killing. And this is the grizzly bear killing the other chick. And this is Kelly discovering the body. So they're going to organize a hunt.
I've been out in the field hunting. I've put R3 and R4 off limits to campers, and I think we can continue in that area. Okay.
This is Waterfall Girl. She makes the waters run red. Peter Prine plays Don. He's the helicopter pilot. Bear continues to do its thing.
Listen, campers come in here, they leave food around, the bears get the smell of it, and that's it. Well, this is different.
Here we get our first, well, partial glimpse of the body of the bear. Our hunter is very lucky. But now we have a witness to the size. Not to worry. That's not our bear, that's a friendly bear. He just comes for the picnic basket. The bear proves to be quite elusive. They've got people all over the place looking for it, on the ground, in the air, on this lookout tower. Although I think this lookout guy is not very good at his job, because he somehow missed the big bear. The bear makes short work of his lookout tower. He never gets a shot off. Killing him down just a tad too late.
Everything in our bullshit. Hey, you know, I just figured you out. You don't give a good goddamn if we get that grizzly or not. As long as you get your press, so you can go to Washington and get one of those nice dark brown plastic offices.
This time the bear attacks a kid. Oh no. Keep looking for it. That bear keeps eluding them. Now the boys got themselves a deer carcass to try to lure the thing in. Again, most bears aren't, they're herbivores, they don't eat meat, but I guess this one does. This guy's apparently super smart too, because he seems to realize it's a ruse! Back to the drawing board. He decapitated his horse, and then he throws him in a shallow grave. And guess what? He has foiled the bear. He's not dead. He's gonna survive. Actually, no, he's not. They find him. Kind of land their helicopter. And hello. Don doesn't stand a chance. But can our bear stand the firepower of a bazooka? The answer's no.
All right, let's talk about this movie, Grizzly. This is a movie I'd never seen before until a few moments ago. It's a movie that I actually have had people ask me about. You ever going to review Grizzly? Of all movies to pick from, but yeah, people have asked me about this one. I almost had this movie years and years ago, and I'm talking like 1989. I remember getting on my bike and riding to a video store a couple miles from my house. It's called The Box Office. It was in Manitowoc, Wisconsin. No longer exists anymore. In fact, the mall doesn't exist anymore either. I don't think. But anyway, I went in there and they had Grizzly, and I had intended to rent it, but not that day. I was like just scouting out the video store to see what I might want to rent at some other later date and, rent and copy, that sort of thing. But I wrote it down and I made a list at home of movies to get and just never got around to it. Never got Grizzly, never came across it, never came across a VHS for sale at some video store. Nothing. Never had it on a cheap DVD or anything like that. But I just recently picked up some movies from Severin when they had a sale for Black Friday, and Grizzly was very cheap, like $7-8 or so. So I figured, why not? It's time for Grizzly. Finally going to get this movie. So this is one of those movies that came out in the 70s. There's a lot of like animal attack type of movies, a lot of movies about bees and God knows what else was roaming around back then, even killer rabbits. But this is about an 18-foot killer grizzly bear that is roaming through, it was filmed in Georgia, but I don't know if exactly that's where this film was supposed to be taking place. But and there's really not much going on in this movie other than the bear occasionally attacks people. Now, also the bear is actually eating the people too, which if you know anything about bears, they're actually not carnivores. They eat like berries and things like that. They will attack and they can kill if they're provoked or if you're messing with their cubs, but they generally do not eat. They don't eat meat. They eat berries and twigs and grass and that sort of stuff. So, but this bear is eating people, or at least, eating partially people, that sort of thing. Anyway, it starts killing people one by one, and there's a couple guys, Christopher George, who's the main guy in this movie, Andrew Prine, also the helicopter pilot. They're like park rangers, that sort of thing. They're just trying to find this bear and kill it. And that's what basically happens in this whole movie. It's a large bear. It seems to be a smart bear too, because at one point they're trying to lure it with like a dead deer carcass, and it figures out that something's up and takes off running. Eventually, they do track the bear down. It's out there. They land their helicopter, almost kind of crashes it. The bear kills Andrew Prine. They're shooting the crap out of it with their rifles, but it doesn't seem to do much. Again, it's a very large bear. And then as Andrew Prine is getting killed by the bear, Christopher George crawls back into the helicopter, pulls out a bazooka, and shoots the bear and explodes it into a million pieces. And that's how our film ends. Simple as that. That is Grizzly. Ain't got much more to tell you about that. Just a killer animal movie. It was rated PG, and there's actually a couple of decent gore scenes in this movie, including a kid. We see a kid get his part of his leg bitten off, and I think the kid died too, although they didn't show that part, but I think it got the mother as well. But yeah, it's some decent gore in there for a PG movie. No nudity, as you would expect from a PG film. Is it a good film? Not really, but is it fine? Easy watch? Yes, it is. So there you go. Now, this Blu-ray is chock full with all kinds of extras and that sort of thing. So if you're a fan of Grizzly, you're going to want to get this. I think there was another Blu-ray release of this a few years back as well from one of the other companies. In 1983, I believe, they also started filming a Grizzly 2, which, believe it or not, features Laura Dern and George Clooney. But I guess they ran out of funding. The people who the film got seized by, I want to say it was like the government of Hungary or something like that, wherever it was being filmed. They seized it and just kind of remained in limbo for decades. There was even rumors that the film never existed, that sort of thing. But apparently, about 10 years ago, somebody finally figured out that it was real, and they got the rights to it somehow, and they released it. That is out there too. I'm very interested to see that. I don't know if it was a complete film or they somehow cobbled together enough to make it somewhat coherent. I don't know. Grizzly doesn't have great reviews if you look at IMDb, and I'm sure Grizzly 2 is just as grisly. So anyway, that's it. It's Grizzly. I'll leave a link to something down below. Again, the picture quality is absolutely fantastic in this movie. Some of the scenes, like the scenery they show, was just beautiful. They've definitely cleaned it up, and it looks great. So check it out. Leave some comments. It's Grizzly. Watch it. Bye.